Okay, so back in the video, from the previous video, I forgot to make a demo about the applications, the HTTP application. So let's make it out now. So let's fire up our SBT. Oops, not SBT. So to remind you about what the application looks like, so let's open it. So we have the what is that called? The app layer. We can see the routes. So we can fire up these two endpoints. So let's get a schedule, and then next we will try to create a new post. Okay, so I will run. So I will go to the sub project. Okay, so the name of the sub project is this app API HTTP scat. Okay, and then I call run. So now our server will be boots and run successfully. As we can see there, so this is like 8080. So this is like our address. So we can see by using curl, or I prefer using HTTP. Okay, so 8080. Let's see whether it's up and running. So it's somehow responding, right? Which is nice. Okay, so let's call this get. So let's try to find. Okay, so that's schedule, and then the name of the code, the billing entry that we are gonna find. Let's try to find an existence code. Okay, so it is a not found. Okay, and then what about if I find something that is existent, like inv1, maybe something like 8 days in the past, right? So we can see that 20. So right now we can see here 28 January. So this is like 8 days in the past. So we are getting the right data. So how I know whether we are calling the 8 day in the past? So let's go to our repo again. Schedule memory. So in initial map, basically I'm creating a bunch of data here. So like one of the data is like now minus day is 8. So like 1 or 2 is actually 8 days in the past. So that's how I can detect it. And then also let's try to create a new schedule. Okay. How to do that? So basically we need to prepare with the JSON. Okay, so the JSON will look like this. Okay, why? Because if we go here, we have the model, right? So this is the model. This is not the core. This is not coming from the core, but this is from the model. The model is in the apps layer, not in the core, right? And then yeah, so if we see invoice ID, due is test and partner, so the JSON will look like this. And we can actually not using this because this is optional, but I will use everything. Is it optional? Actually, no, it's not optional. Partner is test is not optional. Okay. Okay, so now this is my JSON. Okay, so I will copy this. Okay, and then I will paste it. Okay, and then just wiring and pipe it to the HTTP. So now I'm posting to this endpoint. So what is the URL of this endpoint? URL is just is post and then schedule. Okay, so yeah, so post and then schedule to localhost, and then pb pass, which means I am pass it because I copy this to clipboard. I copy that, right? After I copy that, if I call pb pass, it means I will try to pass whatever the data I've copy paste from the clipboard, and then it will like pipe it up to the std out for this pb pass. And then now from the HTTP perspective, I'm using HTTP it's actually an application. So HTTP will get from std in the schedule, right? So that's how I create a new invoice. So let's see. So it's created. Okay, so let's try to get it now. What is the invoice ID? So invoice ID is 10. So yeah, so that's our, I think they are identical here and here, right? Identical with this invoice that we have just created. So what about if we are making an invalid invoice, like if the character is too much? Okay, or maybe if the character is non-existent or missing, right? Okay, so let's do that. Okay, and then let's maybe pass it. Okay, and it is a bad request. Okay, so unfortunately I didn't implement like why it's a bad request, but from the log from the server we can see, look at this, invoice could be empty, which is quite nice. So invoice could be empty. Where it comes from? It's come from the domain layer. If we can see from the domain. So what is that called? Schedule entry. How can I forgot the name? Okay, so it's from the core subscheduler and then the model. Okay, so from the safe. So basically it will try to create the schedule. If you still remember, creating a schedule, we'll call this safe, and then to validate, and then the validate will actually, it will return this. So invoice ID can be empty. Okay, so that's how it comes to this log. Okay, so I think that's pretty much that I want to demo for today, and thank you.